feel like I'm just a stranger to you and then why you would tell me, right?
Yes.
So they don't need to explain what they see. They just need to tell me the emotions to release it, you know?
You're listening to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast with Suzanne Sole, episode 46. Greetings, all ye marvelous beings, and welcome to the Spiritual Shitshow podcast, where we get into the circus the healing and spiritual awakening journey can be. I'm your host, Suzanne Sole, comedian, lifelong spiritual student, and I'm sharing some of the delicious nuggets I've learned along my journey that have helped me and that I hope help you too. We're back for part 2 of my delicious conversation with London-based author, Reiki Master, Karma Yogi Practitioner, NLP Practitioner, and all-around holistic babe, Edit B. Kiss, to talk about releasing trauma and awakening to your freedom. If you missed part 1, I'll add the link in the description. Edit is a holistic mentor, success habit coach, international speaker, and has dedicated her life to helping people break free from limitations, guiding her clients to let go of emotional baggage, empowering them to reinvent their lives and design the future they desire. Sounds great, doesn't it? We are talking becoming free from panic attacks, releasing trauma, and raising your frequency to become more free. And as an added bonus, Edit gives me an intuitive message. So let's get into part 2 of my illuminating conversation with the Edit B. Kiss. Here we go now.
It's a very gentle process. You know, sometimes people doing post-life regression or they're doing like, releasing traumas. They sometimes, going through some physical like movements, like, shaking or crying or,
Yeah.
feeling in a weird position. But in this one, no. In this one, it's a very gentle process. So it's basically they see their memories like you're watching a movie. And then in that process, yes, you have some emotions, obviously, because that's what we need to
Yeah.
release. But it's like
Right.
when you're watching a movie, you also having emotions, right? You also can be sad and whatever. So basically, going back to that memory, seeing it as a movie, and then releasing the emotions. That's what we do. And then basically just some tears, and but nothing really drastic happening in the physical bodies.
Right. Like somatic healing, like the
Yeah,
Peter
exactly.
Levine kind of thing. I love that. Now, how do you see your role? Like, what is your role when you're working with someone during this process? Like, how do you kind of see what your role is?
I mean, it's really important because I know the step-by-step process, so I need to
Yes.
guide them through exactly which step they need to take.
Right.
They're, what they do, they just go into the memory. I mean, the memory
Yes.
pops into their mind basically, and they just dive into it, and then they collect their negative emotions, and I help them to release it from the layers. I say I guide them through the release basically,
Yes.
and then the replacing with positive energy, and then at the end with the forgiveness as well, because sometimes it's really hard for them to forgive, so I say to them certain words and sentences to make it easier. So it's a really profound guiding process basically.
Yes.
There's like thematics, like stages basically they need to go through. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when like, someone a painful memory is coming up, or how are you like being with the person in that moment?
It's not so they don't need to stay there too long. And then as
Yes.
I said, it's more like watching it in a movie kind of way. It's
Yeah.
not that drastic for them. So they stay as long as they quickly collect the memory, the
Yes.
emotions. You know, it could
Hmm.
be sometimes just 2 minutes or something like that, or 3 minutes. If it's really painful or if it's really terrible, yes, I tell them just to collect quickly the emotions and then come out of the memory basically and see it from
Yes.
above. And
Yeah.
then I do the release. So it's basically in 2 hours we can release like 6, 7 memories,
I bet.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
a long time they stay in one. And also, it's really great that they don't need to tell me what they see. I had many clients with abuse, like childhood
Yeah.
abuse, sexual
Yeah.
abuse. So
Yes.
I always tell them that you don't need to explain me what you see, what's happening to you, because might you feel, bad about it, or might you feel like I'm just a stranger to you, and then why you would tell me, right?
Yes.
So they don't need to explain what they see. They just need to tell me the emotions to release it,
Yeah. But if they want to, can they? if they want to
Yeah,
share.
of course,
Yeah,
they can.
yeah,
Yes, some of them
yeah,
shared it. Some of them
yes,
shared it.
because
Some
they
of
need
them
to.
don't. Some of them
Yeah,
didn't even had video on. Some I had some
yes,
clients who had video off and then just talked through the whole process, and then that's it. Yeah, so
yeah.
different for every.
So yes, I love that. I love that because it is true. Everyone processes differently, and depending on the severity of the memory,
Yeah.
I love the fact that the person might be able to just be more esoteric about it and more general and sharing, this is what I was feeling rather than getting into that deeply disturbing or challenging memory.
Yeah.
And so I love that. It's very similar to because I really appreciated when I was doing EMDR that I had someone like holding space for me
Really.
because as you know, when you're kind of touching on deep trauma that's very painful, when we're kids it's hard to process, and it's kind of like we're going back to that like that childhood space in ourselves who still needs someone to help her to
Right.
process that trauma. So I love the idea of being able to guide and hold space for someone while so you could help them be a container for the
Absolutely.
pain. Yeah.
And then I think it's really important to understand that journaling is not gonna heal you. Time is not
Right.
gonna heal you. Speaking therapy is not gonna heal you. You need to go deep, and then you need to have someone who can help you with this process, because
Yes.
otherwise you're just gonna stay in the triggers and patterns and emotional roller coaster all the time.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that because, like I shared, EMDR was so helpful to me. And I have yet to like. I was looking for someone to do it I moved to Florida, and I haven't been able to find anyone. So hearing about this is making me very curious because
You
it
know,
sounds.
Yeah, and then I do it online. So I have
Oh,
clients from all over the world. So I have
okay.
clients from Asia, Europe, United States, and yeah, so I do it through Zoom. It's really
Yes.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, when you're doing it online and remote like that, it's still, how are you able to keep that connection with the person that you're working with?
We are in that meditative state. We are
Ah,
talking all the time. So I
yes.
am present with them. So it's
Yes.
really, we are connected energetically. So we are
Yes.
present in this whole process.
Yeah. So that sounds like you're just letting them know like you're energetically and physically, not physically, but energetically with them. Your attention and your awareness and your presence is on the
Yes,
session
absolutely.
that you're
So yeah,
having.
I'm doing it for many years now. I mean, since COVID,
Yes.
obviously since COVID, but because before
Right.
that I had one-on-one clients in London, but since COVID I went online, and that's how I actually opened up more this international.
Incredible. So you went to this experience, and did you have a healing? You had an experience where when you went to the man who was teaching the
Yes,
karma
it's
yoga.
interesting because at the first time when I went, and then I was just experiencing the meditation, because I sat through a meditation, the samadhi, and then I experienced some of his teachings about mindfulness. That was already felt so close to my mindset, close to my what I would love to learn more about. It was so aligned, and then so happy. I was so happy about it to find out that there's something more out there to learn from. And later, because it was like, I think it was January at that year, 2018, and like a couple of months later when he came again, that's when I signed up for the course itself. So it was a
Yes.
training, a 3 days training. And then basically in the training, we were healing each other. We were practicing on each other. So
Mm,
obviously I went through already a lots of healings there. And
yeah.
then, yeah, obviously we were giving this tool, and then we were using it then later alone. But the thing was that I realized is that between these 3 days events, which were like in couple of months away from each other, there was no hand holding. It was, we left alone between these events, or between these courses. And it was difficult first to think like, okay, what should I use now, or when should I use it, or how should I, it wasn't so clear for me at the beginning. That's why I was still going through a lot of healing, but still not feeling confident about it, how to use. And
Right.
I was just doing like one-on-one sessions. And then I realized later that one session is not enough for the client either. And it's
Mm.
better if I hold their hands for a longer period of time and I
Yes.
support them. So
Yeah.
that's when I created the 8 weeks program first. And in the 8 weeks, I created a video material for them as well, so they have some background knowledge, information about ancestral healing, energies, mindfulness, all of those things, positive thinking. So basically, when they come to the session, we don't need to waste time on explaining all of these things,
Uh,
you know. So
so
they,
you
yeah.
so you have a program, like a class, that a course that people can sign up to watch or experience.
I mean, it's part of the program where I do the healings with them one on one,
Okay.
but they also have like a homework to go through those videos and do a
Ah,
daily meditation. So that's kind of required in the background to do it because I realized that it's also very important besides just having the sessions with me. And
ah,
then that was an 8 weeks program. It was back in 2021, 22 when I was doing the 8 weeks programs. But then I realized that even 4 weeks later, they already smiling and happy and encouraged. And I was like, okay, then I just gonna do 30 days. So
okay.
now I have the 30 days incubator, and then I have clients who comes to me with severe panic attacks, and in 30
Mm.
days they are back to life happily. So
Wow.
that's how powerful it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that someone would take a 30-day course, and within that course, they would have one-on-one sessions with you. And on the other days or at the other times, they would have materials that they could be working with themselves
Yes.
to, carry them through the 30 days. Well, that's a great concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Within us, it works really well. And then they feel more connected during the days, you know.
Yes.
And then I also felt like it's like the whole 4 weeks, then I holding their hands. And then, you know, after 4 weeks, they can decide to join my community where they still got a continuous support on
Yes.
school. I have a community on school. And basically, there is the meditation library there as well, and other workshops. They can meet with me like every second week with live workshops and Q&A. So they usually do that they come into the membership as well there.
Understood. So after that, after they do the 30 days, they can like kind of check in with you and have one-on-one sessions whenever. Is
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. They can also,
Yeah.
sign up for one-on-one sessions, but they can also come into the group experience. And
Ah, yes.
yeah,
Okay.
that it's
Yes.
so interesting that when I was asking people who just did the group one, but they didn't do the 30 days incubator, because someone, don't want to do first the one-on-ones, they just want to check out first the materials, the meditation,
Yes.
get a taste of it. And then I asked them like, what do you like the most about the school community? And then they were like, yeah, actually the tools are okay, but what I like is the community. Like I am not
Yeah.
alone in this journey, basically.
Yes.
And then I see that other people is having similar issues or journey of their healing process. So that's really empowering for them to see that they are not alone.
Yeah. I also, for my own healing, I did some group therapy, and I'm also a member of AA. And that experience of being with people who have similar struggles as you is so, so, so healing for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow, incredible. What incredible work you're doing. And I just want to just touch on what you had mentioned around it not just being from your childhood, that there's trauma in from further beyond that, other lives, or if you might touch on that a moment.
Yes, so with source memory healing, you can go into past life traumas as well. So it's actually coming instantly. So some people I was helping, some of them just only had past life traumas. So when we
Mm.
picked up on the current issue and then we were going into deep, like where is the root, we went back to past life straight. So I had
Mm.
clients like that. I had clients who experienced only like who went only this lifetime trauma. So it was
Yes.
different to everybody.
Yes, yes.
And and then in the meditation library, there are meditations for healing ancestral trauma and ancestral karma as well. So that's why it's really important that they do go through that process, because those meditations with the ancestral trauma is similar to like a mini family constellation therapy, I would call it. So it's
Yes.
guiding them to connect with the family unconscious and
Yes.
actually going into the connection with their parents, grandparents, or other family members, and basically creating the bond there, the forgiveness there, the love connections, and bringing back again them and healing, releasing traumas from the soul family. And that's
Yes.
also possible in this course, basically, or in this package.
That's great. I just wanted to ask family constellation. You had mentioned that earlier, and I wanted to ask you what it was, and then we got going. So, can you share what family constellation is?
So family constellation therapy is a method when you can actually invite ancestors or like other family members into the
Ah,
healing process,
mhm.
because what they went through or how they experienced things and how they reacted to it, it's actually you can inherit it, and then it's being in your lineage, and you
Yes.
react similar ways with your environment. So
Yeah.
you can have relationship issues with your husband, and it turns out that it's actually going back to your grandparents' relationship. And
Yes.
when you
Yes.
do the family constellation therapy and you invite your grandparents' soul or spirit into into our physical body, because that's how this works. Like basically, usually family constellation therapy is in a live setup. So it's like real people there, in a face to face in a room. And then
Mhm.
what happens is we invite the soul family, and then we, like in the physical body, they appear in us. Everybody's like, you are the grandma, you are the grandpa. We keep getting roles.
Ah, yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Okay.
then they coming into our body, and then in that point, I feel their emotions. I feel how they
Mm.
feel about situations, how they experience things. Even I feel how they feel about the grandpa, for example, if I'm the grandma, like
Yes.
how they feel about their daughters or sons or somebody in the family. So what's the important process is here, that everything which is like a turmoil or a trauma or a bad feelings, or anger or regret, to heal those, to actually release and heal the ancestral pain, and then
Yes.
basically create a loving, accepting relationship within the family tree. And that will be like a solution, basically.
Wow. I love that. That kind of sounds like a little bit of channeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, there is always a guide who's helping with the process, but
Yes.
basically, inviting in the family members is like, you just open up your coron chakra, you're just inviting them. It's kind of, yeah, but you need to have kind of good sensation, like a bit of spiritual trainings, probably, that
Mhm.
being aware of that now is these emotions are not mine, and then, tune into the other spirit who's inside of you. Probably you need to be a bit spiritual, right? To have
Yes.
some
Yes.
extra sense to do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's why it's so much easier now with this meditation, which I have, because in this meditation you don't need to have that too much pre work, done, or to be
Yes.
too spiritual, because you transcend with the samadhi and you just connect with the family unconscious, and then everything is done in the background for you. So
That's great. That's great. So I just want to touch on one more thing, and that is about your intuitiveness. And I wanted us to kind of just get into that a little bit of how did you discover that you were intuitive, and how does that play out for you?
it's so interesting, because when I was a child, I had very vivid dreams all the times. Like every night, I felt like I'm going on an adventure. Literally, I was in a different world, having fun, doing stuff. And every morning, I woke up and then I told like a movie, like a whole story to my mom. That was And then when I asked her, like, what was your dream? She was like, oh, I dream about a bread. I was like, okay, but what the bread was doing? And she was like, nothing. That was just a bread. So then I realized that other people not having the same experience,
Yeah.
so they don't have dreams, or they don't really have this adventure I'm going through.
Mhm.
And then I just let it go for a while to not bother. But then later I realized that this was already a sign, me being very spiritual and visiting like parallel realities, or doing some stuff where I'm sleeping. And so that was already a sign of the connections. And then there was a funny game I played when I was a teenager. I bought a book in a just a store. I don't know. It was just there, like a book to connect with gods of Egypt and
Mm.
asking questions. It was like like a future telling thing. Like asking
Yes.
yes and no questions, stuff like that.
Yes.
And then it was like a plot, and then I had to put my finger, and then get the answers and stuff like. And then I really enjoyed that. I was really fascinated about ancient history and then like mythologies and stuff like that. So I really felt close, but I didn't know back then why. And
Yeah.
later, with many years later, with the karma yoga healing, I found out that I had past life in Egypt. Like several, at least three past lives in ancient Egypt, when I was a healer in most of them. And that how I already felt that connection when I was a teenager, obviously. And it just but with the Reiki, when I started to experiencing the Reiki energy healing, and then we went into extrasense retreats, and then doing the family constellation therapy, it gets stronger and stronger, obviously,
Yes.
this extra sense. And then also first, like, I had to learn to trust, obviously. So whoever goes through this experience is the first is to trust your senses, what you
Yes.
feel. And then later I realized also that I can actually talk to others ancestors, or other people's ancestor, or past people. And then
Right.
also
Like
like
channel.
spirit guides, I'm getting like other people's, I can step into other people's spirit guides. And it was, the main thing was about trusting that I'm actually getting information, I'm actually seeing things, and to trust the process. That was the most important things to get into.
And so, how you experience intuitiveness is through spirit guides and past life people from the other realm.
Yes, like
So,
a higher dimensions, other dimensions. Yeah, yeah.
and so that, and they are giving you guidance to give to someone or to give.
Yeah, so yes, yes.
Would you be willing to do that for me one moment?
Okay. The spirit guides or ancestors? Which one you want?
Spirit guides.
Okay. Okay, dear spirit guides from Susanna. Do you have a question or you just want guidance?
Just some guidance, yeah.
Okay. Dear spirit guides of Susanna, what is your guidance for her? It's interesting. They are saying that you can be more honest when you feel hurt. So to people, so you don't need to
Yeah.
always hide your pain or when you feel hurt. They showing me maybe a man or like a male people around you. So be more honest with male people when you feel hurt. Um, and yeah, so don't hide your pain behind your smile, basically.
Yes.
Sometimes be honest and show up like, actually, this made me feel bad, or what you did to me, or what you said, or something like that. So that's
Yeah.
what they're encouraging. And also something about your health, like your diet. Just pay attention what you eat, what you consume, basically. Just make,
Yeah.
yeah, just make you pay attention what you eat. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like to eat. I'm Italian. No, that's, yeah, those are two really good, like, current situations to be mindful of. Thank you so much.
D'accord.
Yeah, I just thought, why not? That might be fun to have a moment. Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you so much. So, how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in working with you?
Yeah, so I have a website with my name, editbkiss.com, and they can
Yes.
book a free synergy session with me. So they can, if they want to learn more about this technique, or they feel like they are going through some depression or anxiety, or, panic attacks, and they need some help, then basically we can talk through like what are the options. And if they need, a community, if they want to connect on a group setting, then it's school.com, SKOOL.com. There are many communities there, and my community called Release with Ease.
Release with ease in
Yeah,
school. Yeah,
yeah.
I've been hearing about school a lot lately. They've been doing a lot of marketing, so I'll definitely want to check that out. And I'm like, maybe I'm gonna check out one of those free synergy sessions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your work sounds so powerful and so important. And especially because I have had a similar kind of work, and I know how deeply, deeply healing and effective going into those quiet shadow dark places in ourselves can be for us. So I just appreciate your work so very much. And I'm sure you've helped so many people.
Yes, absolutely. It's really powerful.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad. What an enlightening conversation with the amazing Edith Beekis. I want to thank Edith for joining me all the way from London town. And if you are interested in working with Edith, I will leave the link to her website in the description. And I will definitely take note about the message I received. Guess I'll have to back off the pizza pie. Just a little bit. Anyway, as always, this has been the Spiritual Shit Show podcast. My name is Suzanne Sole, and I love you this much. Anywho, I'll wrap with you on the next one. Roll it, darling. Would you be a darling, roll it?